All right.
Very informal today.
Yeah.
So today in the studio, Sarah was like, dude, Becca, I have queso to bring tonight. And I was like, sweet. And then we're like walking up to my apartment and she's like, I went to, what did you say?
It was Aldi. I went to Aldi.
Yeah, I went to Aldi
So good.
and I got this queso and she pulls it out of her bag and it's the fucking queso fresco from the store that comes in in a wheel.
In
It's
my
like
defense, I thought that it was like the super meltable cheese stuff that you buy or would get at the restaurant.
But it's actually queso fresco that you would buy at like a Mexican grocery store that you put on tacos.
Completely different.
And so I put it with some whole milk or no, some whipping cream and tried to milk it down and it looks like we're eating cottage cheese.
It kind of tastes like cottage
Not
cheese.
milk.
I'm not gonna lie. But like 10 out of 10 on flavor. But
I think that
the texture is kind of throwing me a little bit.
I think that if we had let it sit, it would be great.
Okay.
Really?
By the way, are you using your actual mic for the audio, or are you just talking to the screen? Okay.
Yeah.
I should probably do that and then unplug this, and maybe it'll sound a little better. I know we already started, but that's fine.
So we'll be munching on chips because this is our dinner. And we had a brat with cream cheese and sriracha.
Honestly, one of the best brats I've had.
Ice.
Okay, little munch session. All right. Hopefully this is good. Do you use your microphone and then your speakers on Skype often? Where you're actually the recording's going into the mic and you can hear through the computer speaker?
Yeah.
Okay, it sounds good. All right.
Yeah, we've done it before.
I don't remember doing that before, but okay. I'll try.
We did it with Andrew.
Okay. I never did it on my side, so.
Well, we can stop the recording and then look at it.
I'll trust you.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It'll be good. All right.
The only thing is it'll just not work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are going to have to speak up a little bit.
I'll get in here. Try not to chew in the...
Yeah, don't chew in the microphone.
Get friendly.
Every time I answer a question, I'll just... I'll just breathe into it real deep.
Just like get the chip right there, like. Somebody just got excited.
Yup. Oh, goodness. Don't mind if I do.
Cheapest bottle at Aldi.
Nice. She's also drinking wine. I'm not.
I couldn't tell what that was. It looked like a milk or something, but.
Oh, this is like a root beer liqueur that I got at a beer festival.
Of course. That makes sense.
Root beer liqueur. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes good.
Yeah.
Tastes like Bailey's with root beer.
Yeah. Which is delicious.
That's what I want.
Nice. All right, Becca, who's over there with you? I don't know that we've even mentioned who this third person is.
Oh,
shoot.
Right. This is Sarah Anderson. Would you like to, she's at my apartment because we are studio mates and we were like, it would be fun to do this together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell people who you are?
I suppose I shall. I'll do it.
Okay.
Hey everybody. I'm Sarah Anderson. I do ceramic stuff. So that's a lot of fun. We share a studio. I've been in Indianapolis, Indiana for I think 3 years now. And I used to teach and manage a studio here in Indy. And now I just do ceramics full time. So online stuff, in sale person things. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Just
When did you start?
ceramics.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, I went to undergrad for sculpture. So that was roughly, what was that? 2015 is whenever I started. I graduated in 2019. I did a lot of like welding, bronze casting, glass blowing, that kind of stuff. And then I got into clay my last year in 2019. So I think it's been since then, but professionally since like a couple years ago, probably, when I went full time.
Where'd you study at?
Ball State in Muncie, Indiana. The Harvard of Indiana, some might say.
Harvard of
So,
Indiana. Okay.
yeah. You might have heard of it on Parks and Rec. That's where, what's his face? Jerry, they always visit there.
Larry.
Yeah, whoever he is. So yeah, that's where he vacationed. That's where I learned all the art. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So did you do clay sculpting in your sculpture class at all, or you just kind of stumbled upon it because of like prereqs or electives you had to take?
Well, I wanted to start out in ceramics, and then I was like, well, I want to learn how to do everything first. And with a ceramic degree, you could only do clay stuff. So I was like, well, let's try everything and see where we go from there. So I got really into metal mostly. So I like welded most of the time and did a lot of like lost wax castings. So I think that once I started doing those, I was like, oh, I can manipulate this with my hands. And that feels a little bit better than like tools for metal, you know? So I just don't like, I realized I was like, I don't really want to use tools whenever I make stuff, like rely on tools to make stuff. And clay, you could just like manipulate with your hands. So my thesis, my senior year, I did really big figurative sculptures of like naked women up on the wall, and I welded frames to like hang them up on the wall. And one was getting eaten by an octopus and like a bunch of weird stuff. So that was really fun to make. I like doing that. But I think after that took a while, and I was like, that's going to be hard to sell in Indiana. So that's when I switched to more functional stuff. So
yeah, I always feel like it's got to be tough for sculptors.
I know.
So like, first off, having the equipment you need, because at least in a university you have access to a lot of equipment that they probably already supply for you, but and then the materials and stuff, I don't know how, it's probably not that bad to come up with materials after you graduate, but
it's mostly the kilns. Like the kilns there, we had a big long oval kiln, which was nice that we could fire stuff in. But yeah, I had to epoxy stuff back together just because it was like 6 feet wide. It was like, ugh, it was dumb. Yeah, it was a lot.
Okay. Yeah, and the kilns are for like, they weren't for clay, right? They were for metal?
No, they were for clay.
Oh, okay, the clay. Clay kilns, okay. I didn't know if they were like annealing kilns or anything like that.
They were like in between, like the clay and the metal were in between, and they were like shared kilns and stuff. Okay. So it was pretty nice.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always feel like you're at a disadvantage. First off, getting an art degree and trying to like learn the business side of it once you graduate to like make it work. And then if you're a sculptor, it's like you're in the fine arts kind of group. And unless you're doing like, I'm sure there's probably a skill set that you can do kind of like handiwork, or not handiwork necessarily. That's probably dumbing it down, but like a skilled trade that
like
you
trade,
could do
like
with
a trade
that, with that skill set. But learning to sell that kind of work, that's like high dollar for probably businesses and corporations and stuff that want art installations and things like that.
Oh yeah. Like that's a whole, like I just helped my partner install his sculptural show down in LA, and just like the types of galleries there and different residency programs set up like just for that, totally different ball game than like functional production pottery. It was like a huge eye opener. It was very cool.
How do you make money? Like how?
That was a great question.
Like, do they just like make these sculptures and just like, do people buy them?
Oh, for sure. It's just like I feel like it's fully about networking. Like if you know the right people and you know the galleries and like do the right things, you're fine.
Yeah, because like Quincy at our studio does sculptures, but I would say they're more functional sculptures in a way, because like they light up,
Yeah.
They're all over Indiana,
do something.
or like Indianapolis at least.
So it's
And
like public art.
yeah, it's more public art. But like like a clay like little chair.
Yeah. Right.
Stool, you know, like
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's awesome. Like it's very cool, but that is a whole other world that I don't think I've fully tapped into yet, and it's very cool to see people selling that stuff at like outrageous amounts of money, and they're just like selling it so well.
Seems like you'd have to have some kind of gallery partnership.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because
like,
and then they take their cut and they kind of introduce you to networks of buyers and stuff.
Yeah, definitely. It's cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what we mostly wanted to hear when you I asked you to come, not because you're like my studio mate, but
it helps.
But you got recently jumped into famedom.
Instagram
influencer famedom.
Yeah.
And
do you like that? Do you like that term, or do you
influencer?
Do you feel like there's weight to that?
Absolutely not. It's horrible.
It's
the worst. Because I don't feel that way at all. I had my first actual in-person famous moment, famous. But there's a guy, I went to go get a new phone at Apple, and one of the security guards came up to me and he was like, "I'm sorry, but do you have a pottery Instagram thing?" And I was like, "Actually, yes, I do." And he was like, "I am your biggest fan. I follow you all the time. This is so crazy." And he looked back at the wall of other security guards, and they all went, "Oh my god, this is crazy."
Oh, really? He probably shares these videos with him. He's
apparently
like,
it was just, it was a really weird moment to be like, "Oh god, this is not just in my little studio area. It's getting out there, you know."
It's not even in the ceramic world.
Yeah, which is the weirdest part. So that was a weird, and the other weird thing was I was driving down the road the other day, in Indy, and somebody stopped their car in the middle of traffic and was like, "Pip!" My dog's name is Pip, and I was walking her, and they just stopped. They're like, "Pip!" And I was like, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I don't know you.
But that's cool. So those were a couple of really weird moments. I was like, oh, geez, this is bigger than I was expecting it to be, but pretty cool. So yeah, it's been wild. It's been really fast.
I feel like the reels have definitely excelled that.
Oh yeah.
Tremendously.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you had kind of a slow and steady growth before reels were such a big thing, or?
No, it was fully reels. It was fully just that. And I honestly still people ask sometimes what advice can you give, or what's the secret? And it's I truly have no idea other than just following the algorithm of what Instagram wants you to do. And
also you're really good at it. I mean, you're good at taking videos, and you are, let's be honest, you're cute.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. You're cute. You're good to look at. You have a good personality. You know how to take videos.
Yeah.
You know,
face right in there.
Your voice isn't obnoxious.
Sometimes.
Most of the time. And so I mean, there's a little, there's
you have some consistency too with the tutorial Tuesdays, and
that's whenever it really started to help, is having, well, for me at least, is having a day to post every week and hold myself accountable is nice. But yeah, it's I wonder if that has anything to do with the algorithm of putting it in at a certain day and time, because I do I try and do the same thing every week, but yeah, that gets exhausting. It's
I remember when you started Tutorial Tuesdays, and I was like, ha.
Good luck.
I literally
was
I give you 3 weeks.
Yeah. Here we are. I'm yeah, that
I'm proud of you.
If only I knew.
I'm proud of you.
How long has that been going on?
I honestly can't even remember. Not that
2 to 3 months?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah, something
12 weeks. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started saving the Monday mug thing, mug selection. I started saving those in like a guide. I don't know if those guides even get viewed, but did you do that with your Tutorial Tuesdays?
Good. Yeah. I have no idea if it does anything, but
I didn't even know there was a guide.
It's like another tab. Like there's your feed, there's your reels, and then there's your like other tags that people have. But there's also like a guide section if you add guides.
Interesting.
It just, like separates it out so you can like see like just
yeah, like chapters almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and you could pick specific posts that go part of the guide, and you can like put a title and a description with each post or whatever. It's a little more of a, it's cool for like people that are probably in like travel and things where they're like, you should go to these different things, or you could curate from other people's posts as well. So Becca's recording something.
Yes.
Well, I'm recording just because Lloyd's just like sitting over here watching us, like he normally does. But I thought it'd be a.
Hey Lloyd. He is chilling.
He's chilling.
It's alright.
Okay, so there's definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like Becca was saying, there's definitely some skill and like forethought into. What are some things that you maybe tried that didn't work as well that you were able to like put behind you that you're like, okay, maybe I need to focus on these other things more?
Yeah, I think I'm still in that transition maybe because I like Tutorial Tuesday great for exposure, right? So I like love that. But I think that if I want to make it worth my time, like money via Instagram is not hot. So like Patreon, and I'm trying to do a virtual class, like a virtual master class where I can put it on my website and people can like download it and look at it that way for like a price. I think that's kind of the route I'm going to try and start pushing stuff. Just because it doesn't seem super, what's the word? Like, I can't like keep up with like the reels all the time.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. Yeah. So it's like trying to find different ways where I feel like I have the following now. That's like, that was the goal with the reel. Well, it wasn't the goal with the reels to start with. I was just having fun.
No, one of them just popped off.
Oh, fully, yeah.
It was the one where you jumped off the wheel. That was the one that popped off, right?
There was one before that whenever, I think it was last winter, whenever it really blew up. So I literally had like less than 5,000.
She had 3,000 followers.
Something like that. And then after Christmas last year, in January, I think it popped off with this one random video of just like me just doing like random stuff on the wheel. Like I don't even remember, but that got like almost 2 million views. And I was like, oh geez, okay. Like I remember while I was home with my parents, I was like, what's going on? And my dad does not. He was like, I don't understand what's happening either. I was like, I don't know, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just you. But it was like. Yeah, it was wild. After that, it just kind of like blew up a little bit. And I remember Marret saying, my roommate and our other studio mate, she was like, Sarah, what would you even do if you got over like 10,000 followers? And this was before the video blew up because I was complaining like other people were like blowing up. I was like, dude, why am I big? Like, what the heck? And she was like, what would you even do if it did blow up? I was like, that's a good point. It would be really overwhelming. And like, I don't need that in my life. And then as soon as that happened, it just like went to, I don't even know what it went up to, but at least like a good 20,000 people. And then something else happened, and then it hit like 50. And then I posted the one of when I fell off the wheel. And I think I showed you and Marret first, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna post this, but like maybe. And y'all were like, no, you have to.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, that thing is gonna get millions of views.
Well, yeah, and I was like, because she was getting paid for reels, and I was like, you best be posting that the first day of your fucking month. And then and she was like, oh yeah. So she held on to it for probably like 2 weeks, and because me and Marret both knew, I was like, that's gonna pop. Like that's gonna pop so quick. And then
you predicted, you were like, that's gonna get at least 1 million views, and you're gonna hit 100K. And I was like, okay, Becca.
Yeah.
And it hit like 7 million views, and I hit 100. I went over 100.
And then tell them how pissed you were.
Okay, so then when I went to like save it. I made it, saved it on my whatever, like as a draft, and I went to post it, and it didn't toggle the like monetizing thing.
Oh, no.
And I didn't realize it until like the next day, and so I didn't get any money from it
at all.
None.
You didn't want to take it down and put it back up?
I guess I could do that, couldn't I?
You probably could.
Well,
I think
little late
Instagram
now.
knows behind the scenes. Like, I feel like there's some
100%.
idea associated with a video that
Mm-hmm.
you've crafted, and because I've accidentally posted another video that I've taken, not necessarily like reposting it, but I've posted it from my camera. I think there's some identifier
Yeah.
around the video, and it like knows that you're reposting it,
Yeah.
and it pulls it down.
Yeah.
Not pulls it down, but like down
Yeah.
lower on the list of,
Yeah.
you know.
Like I've done that
Original
before,
content.
where the draft is like I have saved things saved as drafts. Oh my!
Charles.
I hate
Charles, we haven't heard from Charles in a while.
Yeah, my windows are open. I was thinking about that this week, actually.
that. Charles blocked me.
Yeah, Charles stopped, like straight stopped in front of her car. That's
For
why
good
she was
15
late.
minutes, so it's fine.
Oh.
Anyway, I could listen to my Audible book a little bit longer. It's cool.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Oh, okay, the money thing.
And so I fully believe there's a little Instagram wizard that is behind the scenes, and they're like, oh, this is gonna do well. We're just gonna like not let you monetize it, because I swear I've posted other things like in drafts, and it's like just upload. It just does it. Like it just automatically.
I definitely have to.
It just teaches you to look at it every time from now on, I guess, right?
Oh, it makes me so. I can't. I've been trying to drop it for like a month, and I just get so mad every time I think about it. I can't think about it anymore. It's fine.
All right, moving on.
I'm triggered.
So do you also have a TikTok?
Ugh, yeah. TikTok
Yeah.
is. God, I have strong feelings.
Okay, so with Instagram putting a lot of focus on Reels, and it feels like you can only get traction from Reels these days. Do you feel like the follower count on Instagram is becoming like a TikTok follower count in some ways?
Honestly, I have no idea how to even use TikTok. I'm gonna sound so old right now, but like I don't fully understand TikTok still. And like you tried to show me a little bit, and I was like, I don't get it. So I will just repost, like I'll download things like my reels and then put that on TikTok. And it wouldn't, like, I didn't get any like traction at all. And then someone commented like, you can't have the Instagram watermark on your videos because TikTok will like not let it go or whatever.
Lower it, yeah.
Yeah. And so
You have to basically craft your video, save it, and then,
and I was like, this is
like-
so much effort. I don't know about it. But I did put that one on, the one falling off the wheel on TikTok, and that one blew up. I think it got, not really. It only got like 200,000 views, but still. So
yeah. Because when Becca was like really into it, she was saying how like it doesn't take much to get a ton of followers, but it's probably because they're like very on the fringes, like acquaintances, like they just follow like quickly.
Yeah, it's not like a loyal following.
It's definitely not a loyal following. I mean, like they are loyal. There is like a few that are loyal, but like you know, they're just like passing through.
Yeah.
Most of them.
That makes sense.
Like if you do lives, they become loyal.
Yeah.
You know, but if you don't, nah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know much about it, but that's why I've
Yeah.
stuck with Instagram. And I feel like it's more of a community on there where you can like comment and like actually see the comments and like know when people have posted things, and it's like a timeline in my opinion. So I don't know. It just feels like I can have more of a community on Instagram versus TikTok. And I'm probably just old and don't understand it. So
yeah.
That's
Have you done any like online updates or anything since getting your following to a point where it's way bigger than you can control? Like,
yeah, I don't think I've done. Well, maybe I did one between. I think. I did do one. I did one between right before me and Marret left for our trip to Ensika in March via Mobile Makers. So I did an upload there and sold out. But I think I've had a pretty consistent like. I'm not sure how much of that is from like the Instagram followers versus just like people that I don't know how much that correlates. I'm sure it definitely
Where do you host a sale at? Can you tell where people are coming from?
You can, but I mostly do it from my Patreon and my email list. So if people go to my website and sign up for my email list, I'll shoot them in like an email blast, and then usually most of the people from my email list will buy stuff. So I think I have like 700 people on my email list right now, and they pretty much clear it out whenever I
Nice.
load
Okay,
stuff.
that's good.
It's pretty nice. So I feel pretty secure with that. But Instagram's just so like up and down with everything. It's kind of nice to just rely on like what I already have, people like coming back and like actually like a loyal fan base, I guess. So
Yeah.
but who knows?
How are the like the stickers and stuff, like the more passive? I feel like, I wonder if, like once you get like 100K or whatever, people like, if the more passive income is more like approachable and achievable.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't honestly know. I haven't done them for that long, so I'm not sure long term what that's gonna look like. But I like when I uploaded I did some new sticker designs, and I think they're like $5 a sticker. And I did pretty good with those within the first couple of days. But I don't think I'm as consistent with like the not I guess those are
marketing them.
Right. Like I don't necessarily need to do that to make money because I teach and I do a lot of the virtual classes and things. So I don't push it as much as I should, or maybe I just don't feel the need to sometimes.
Yeah.
So, but that's been nice to just be able to like post it, send out an email, see what happens with it. I don't have to put a lot of effort into it, and I can just like see what people do with that. Yeah.
Did you involve some different people, and like, did you involve your following or anything of like, here's 3 sticker designs, which one do you like better? Like, did you narrow it down that way, or did you just come up with something off your noggin and you were just like, this is what I'm doing?
Marret and me?
Yeah, pretty much. Honestly, I don't even. I know that I like to do the stories, and like ask like, oh, we're gonna name this fella. What's his name gonna be? Those are kind of fun to involve people on like choosing that way. But mostly I just come up with the characters and just like.
I think that's a subtle marketing.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
That would help get some sales.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're weird. I don't even know where they came from, honestly.
Yeah, you do.
In my mind.
Tell Ryan about like the Lyme's disease and all the things and like kind of how it like evolved,
The deep shit.
The deep shit.
So
people that don't know your work at all, because I know some of your work too, but I don't know some of the stories.
Ooh, all right. Let's get into it, folks.
We'll pour you some more wine.
Yes. Need the alcohol. Thank you so much. Needed that. It all started back on a dark, stormy night in 1996. Actually, my birthday's on Sunday, so that's cool.
Oh yeah.
26 years old. Feels so young. Yeah, over the hill. It's fine. But I started. Let's see. I think it was high school, I started developing symptoms of Lyme disease and other things in that nature, and fully diagnosed, I think, my junior year of high school. And I lived on a small farm growing up, so I probably got it, who knows when. But it went undiagnosed for probably about 10 years, and the symptoms got real bad, like middle school, high school. And so I had Lyme disease on top of 3 other co-infections, Babesia, Anaplasmosis, and Bartonella. And so I used a lot of supplements, a lot of like herbal things and remedies. And, it's a chronic disease at that point whenever it goes undiagnosed for so long. So I did sports all my life growing up. I never really did any art related things at all. But my parents were both graphic artists, and my brother did everything art related. So he went to Ball State for animation and then videography. And so I was like, you know what? I have nothing else to do. I was either going to go play softball on a scholarship, or I was going to go do art. And then Lyme disease kind of made it hard to do the softball after my senior year. So I was like, I guess we're just going to go do art then. And my mom like fully pushed me into that field. Like I was not wanting to do it at all, but she was like, you should probably just do it. I'm like, okay.
What does the Lyme disease like affect? Like what are your limitations with it? I don't really know much about it.
Yeah, it's a really wonky disease. It's like, I've met a handful of other people that have like chronic Lyme, and it's just so silly for it to go that far. But some people develop like inflammation problems or joint pain, or like mine mainly are those 2 things. And so my brain and my other like organs would swell a lot whenever it was like towards the like pinnacle of what was like in high school. And so it would like I would hallucinate sometimes and just like see things and whatever, hear different things. And so it was like almost like borderline schizophrenic. It was wild. It was really weird. So then I went on a gluten-free like anti-inflammation diet. So no gluten, no processed things, all that good stuff. And it really helped a lot. And so that was like a big thing that helped a lot. But then I went to college and I was like, I don't need this anymore. I'm fine. And so it just kind of was like a wave up and down. But yeah, it was just really weird to like a lot of my problem too was working with my hands. It like the pad of my hand will swell up twice the size it should if I just like wrote a paper or something like that. And so that was a lot of the frustration, was just like having a lot of swelling most of the time. And that's probably still my biggest complaint right now, is just like swelling here and there. But most of the time it's like super containable. But yeah.
So did they just like know that from like blood tests or something? Like you're like, how do you get to the point where you actually are like, you know what, we should do a gamut of tests to figure this out?
That's why it felt so weird, because it was like, okay, I can't see anything that's wrong. Like I can't like visibly like you broke a bone, here's the break, you know? So having like a mental, just psychological illness was so strange. And it wasn't just psychological,
but the inflammation made you feel weird.
Oh
with your
yeah,
body,
like
I'm sure, right?
like my stomach would get so distended, it was wild, and my hands were all like just huge, and like different parts would swell, like specific parts would swell, and like I would get like circle bruises everywhere from like an iron deficiency, and so it just like wreaked havoc for a while. But yeah, what was your question?
The question was, how did the characters come to be?
Yeah, it started with how did the characters come. So I'm guessing Becca was alluding to there's some kind of situation that sparked those characters.
Yeah, so I went into doing more of like the I just fully pursued art, and so I was like, I'm just gonna like push through this. I was still using supplements, still using plants and all of those different things to like help with inflammation and whatnot. And so I started my first series of carvings after school with like the carvings would be different plants that I would use. So like I used a lot of green tea for different things. So I would carve green tea leaves into a teapot or different things like that, like hibiscus, good for different things. So I would carve like these different plants on pieces and write little blurbs with them. Just describing like what they were good for and like how they were healing, and ginger and all kinds of good stuff. But for whatever reason, it just was super boring to me. I was like, oh, this is fun. Like it was a good like stepping stone of like, oh, this is fun to carve, but everyone just sees like a pretty flower and they're like, it's not, I wasn't getting anything out of it. And so then I think it was last Halloween.
Yep.
Was it?
Yep.
I started drawing. I forget where I was, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make some weird stuff. Like I'm just gonna laugh my way through it and just like find some weird stuff that people want to smile at. And so I started drawing rats on sewer pipes. And I was also like, wow, I'm using porcelain, the perfect clay that everybody is just like highly coveted. And I'm just going to throw some sewer rats and some trash on it and just see what people say about that. I don't know. So I just had a lot of fun with them, and literally was just like doodles, and they evolved into little creatures. And I don't know why the frogs even came about, honestly.
Oh, the frogs are fucking great. The frogs and the cats.
The cats. I haven't done it. I need to do it. I need to do another cat.
The cats.
I need to do like a feral cat. But yeah. So
the cats are like so ugly. They're so great. And they have like, she drew one, and you see just like hands lifting it up, and there's like 6 nipples down the front. I
need to make them protrude a little bit more.
So good.
And I've had so many people come up to my booth, like in person, to just be like, I've had some pretty aggressive like reactions of like both ends, where someone was like, I hate rats, and there's a rat tail on this, and I literally will never see your work again. Like, goodbye.
Yeah,
and I was like, that's fine. Like, I love having
Do
a
you?
strong reaction. Like, that's great. But most of the time, it's like people just come in and they just smile, and I'm like, yeah, that's like what it's about, man. Like,
Ryan, I don't
Yeah.
think the cats are on her Instagram.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing a bunch of the like mushroom head looking things and the rats and
oh man,
Yeah.
I could get into the mushrooms too.
some
That would be
flowery thing.
that'd be a long talk with that.
The mushroom, it looks like a wizard with a hat that's too big, but it's like a mushroom head.
It's totally that. You nailed it. It's exactly what it is.
That was one of your hallucinations or something.
Straight up.
No, I love just having the intro of like people like just like it's like a carrot. I'm just like dangling all these like questions out for people, and whenever they bite, I'm like, yes, I can like talk to you about psychedelics and like how those can be super healing. And yeah, so I don't talk about it until somebody asks a specific question, but as soon as they do, I could just
Nice.
talk. We could talk a minute, you know.
And then there's like sort of a Venus kind of character, sort of.
Yes, that's exactly. It's but mushroom form.
Yeah, it's got a mushroom head.
Mm-hmm. Lady mushroom, or some people have referred to it as Buddha mushroom, which is
That's fine.
Perfect.
Whatever. Yeah.
great. Love it. It all falls under pretty much the same category. So
Nice.
great.
Okay. And you also do like a variety of different like functional things, but also like they almost look sculptural.
Mhm.
Like what's the gamut of forms that you make?
I think I'm trying to tiptoe back into sculpture because I love it so much. But again, I live in the Midwest, and selling sculptural stuff is hard. So
Yeah.
I think that I'm trying. Like, I did one thing with frogs, and I had this. My first frog was the frog that couldn't swim. So he has floaties on his arms, and I thought that was absolutely hilarious. Probably not that funny, but
No,
man,
it is hilarious.
I lost it. I was like, this is the dumbest thing. And so when I started carving those, I was like, I could actually make a floaty to go with this, and I can just sneak it in to all those Midwest Hoosier homes where I make this like a little teacup, but it's round on the bottom, so it can't sit flat, so it needs like a little coaster underneath. But what if that's the floaty? And so I made a little floaty. I was like, suck it, Midwest. You have to buy a sculptural thing with your teacup.
Oh, because it doesn't have a flat bottom.
And did they all sell?
They did.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
like,
I thought it was like a pillow. I didn't get the but I can see how it's
yeah, well, it's
nice.
It's a
all
floaty.
there.
I think it looks like one of the fart things where the
Yes.
the what
Whoopee
is it
cushion?
called?
Yeah.
Whoopee cushion, yeah.
Honestly, that
Yeah.
might be.
You should make. Oh no.
Oh no.
I mean, how fun would it be to make whoopee cushion flasks?
Oh.
These would be easy too because you could just hand build them.
100%. We're
Okay.
missing a market here.
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Or like slip cast it or something.
I mean,
I
hear me
just
out.
picture like a
Functional.
Brett Kern whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
Or something.
that's-
Yeah.
definitely.
Brett Kearns.
But I want it to be functional. I want it to like.
Yeah, it should have a little cork in it.
Yeah. Or no, like actually makes sound. You should fully.
I wonder how you would do that.
I have no idea, but I want it to happen. Just buy a regular one
Yeah,
with the other.
absolutely.
But yeah,
Nice.
so
Okay.
that's a honestly recent development. So of the
Yeah.
characters and stuff, which has been really cool. But yeah, it all comes from like a weirdly painful past, which is not everybody would see. If you just like saw my work, you would think, oh, super, super happy, funny, humor.
Well, the colors add to that certain vibe,
Mm-hmm.
and then the characters and the narrative
Yeah.
at the different
Mhm.
discussion point, I guess. Do you discuss this kind of stuff with customers that are at shows that are asking you about it, or do you just kind of keep it simple so that you don't have to talk to them for like 10 minutes?
Yeah, most of the time that, but I also gauge it on like what they want. So I had one lady come up. I was at the Michiana Pottery Tour a couple weekends ago, And this one lady was talking, and she brought up that she had chronic Lyme, and I was like, "Well, you're the only other person that I've met in real life that like has chronic Lyme disease. That's awesome." So we talked for like 30 minutes about everything, and I was like, "Actually, my work is fully about that. Like that's like all of what this work is about, like stemming from all of that." So that was really cool to have a conversation with her about all of that. And then I had another older lady that came up and asked me specifically about the mushrooms. And I was like, I could get into it for sure, but like, you know, if you don't want to get into it. So, but she was like all about it. And we had this like full on 20-30 minute conversation about like psychedelics and how like it like heals PTSD and depression and like end of life experience and all this stuff. So I was like, dang, pretty cool. So I've had a lot of really good conversations from it, which is like honestly just like what it's about for me. I mean, money too, for sure, but also
money
like,
too.
But yeah, that's been really cool to like see like the amount of that people are willing to talk about that and are interested in that. It's pretty cool. So yeah.
Yeah, you've mentioned selling in the Midwest a lot. How much do you rely on your income for like selling at shows versus online versus teaching?
Ooh. Yeah, I should break that down at some point.
Or if you were to guesstimate.
I mean, in general, I like to do at least, I don't know, 5 or 6 big shows a year, like in person. Mostly because I just like seeing people in person, like getting the stuff. And then teaching. I mean, it's been weird this year because of COVID and everything, like kind of making things way more accessible online. That's been really cool. So a lot of my income has came from virtual classes and teaching in person too. So honestly, that makes up probably about a third of it. And then
Are
selling
you
online.
self-hosting the online classes, or are you doing it in like
I do
collaboration with
through, yeah, so like Picosin, in the ceramic school I've done stuff for, which has been really awesome. And then doing my own virtual stuff, but that hasn't, I'm still just in the process of that. So by the end of the year I'll have that done. But yeah, I think just teaching like virtually and in person makes up like a third. Selling stuff online, I haven't done a whole lot of that honestly this year just because I haven't had to. But I'm having my next sale on Halloween, so we'll see how that goes. I'll have like 100 pieces for that, which will be one of my biggest updates, which is awesome. But and then in-person stuff in the summer is mostly when I do in-person stuff. So I did like 4 or 5 this summer. So that's probably made up about like 3/4 of my income just from like in-person shows.
Wow.
Which have been really fun. So
Yeah, I've been seeing you do the in-person show, like the what were some of the you were doing some big indie ones. I can't remember the
yeah,
names of them.
there
But
was one in Indy called Pinrod that's been around for like 50 something years. Broad Ripple Art Fair has been around for like 30 something. And a few others. Michiana Pottery Tour I did for the first time this year, and that was really cool. What else did I do? I think those were the biggest ones I did this summer. And then there's a few in the winter around that are just like cool ones too. So, but yeah, most of my like other state things are just from shipping. Like I just do online stuff with in other states. Oh, I did do one. I was gonna do the Ann Arbor one in Michigan this year, but that was too far, so I didn't get to do that. But
how are you finding the shows that you're selecting? Because it seems like the ones you're selecting are pretty well known art like art shows, not craft events.
Well, each of them are juried, and they're all like fine craft shows, which is really cool.
Except for one.
Stop. Oh, that was so bad, dude.
Was that one that Becca did as well?
Bringing up so much
I fucking
drama.
bailed her out.
Yeah, that was really nice. We didn't even know each other at that point.
No, we didn't.
Like barely. And you were like, bro, I got you. I was like,
she had like moved into the studio like a month before, and she was like, bro, she was like, I signed up for this show, and it was the
Is that the convention center show that we talked about on the podcast?
Yeah, it was the convention center show, and we both like barely fucking broke even. Like,
no, we broke even. I think that was it. That was the worst show I've ever done in my life. But we got some jerky out of it.
Yeah, we did.
We had a beef jerky neighbor, and he just Kevin, was that his name?
I think so.
He gave us
Becca
beef.
was talking about how she was like sitting on the ground and like I don't know if she was napping during it or like just
I
disappearing from her booth or something. But she was like making friends with the people next to her.
I made friends with the perfume lady. Every time I walked up, I'd do a high kick.
Oh no.
Oh.
It was at that point my brother was growing flax, and so he was like, take some and shuck it for me. So I shucked some flax.
Yeah, our fucking booth had like flax all over the floor, and like I think everybody was supposed to have like a floor covering, and we did not.
For sure. For sure. But I mean, they couldn't
It was so bad.
Yeah, so I didn't do that this year. In my defense, I thought it was the Indiana Artisans booth thing, and it's actually in April. So I'm now an Indiana Artisan, so I'm going to be doing that in April, which will be great. But didn't realize that was not what it was, and I was like, yeah, this is worth $1,200 for the booth fee for sure. No. I will never again.
So then, how did you go about finding the ones that you did do this year, or like the
word of mouth mostly?
Yeah.
I didn't hear, nobody told me about the other one, and I think Marret told me about it, and she was like, I don't know about it, and I was like, that's for sure this one, and I was like, nope, never mind. So anybody that's like done the craft show before and they tell me it's pretty good, I'm like, all right, cool. But specifically for ceramics, there's a huge difference between a craft show and like a ceramic like craft show. So the Michiana Pottery Tour was so cool because like everyone that came through, oh my god, hi Lloyd, that scared me.
He's very needy. I just
Lloyd has entered the chat.
Trip.
Lloyd is meowing at us. But in what was I saying?
Michiana
Pottery Tour.
Yeah. So anybody that came through, like, they didn't even bat an eye at the prices for ceramic stuff. Like, they were like, yes, $100 for a mug. Yes, that's perfect. That's great.
What they're coming for.
Like, okay, sweet. And I mean, same thing at like Penrod that I was at. It's been around for 50 plus years. There's a ton of people there that understand the price of things. But like obviously at the convention center one we were at, they were like, oh, $15 for a mug? Yikes.
Absolutely not.
Too much money.
Right.
So it was just really interesting to see the difference of like, yeah, if you're trying to get into like in-person craft fairs, word of mouth for sure. Or's application has really good stuff on there, and they've got like reviews and things that people have done. So I've looked on there for a few things, but mostly just word of mouth and just like around my area because I don't want to drive. Like I can just sell online. I don't have to drive across states to sell stuff. So
right. And to give people a sense of the price range, like what is your price point?
I think right now I have like cups without handles at 75, mugs 100, and then all the way up to like a vase for like 400 depending. But those are all like still very functional things that I sell myself. So I'm trying to get into some other sculptural things behind the scenes. I won't talk too much about that, but we'll see. But I think I'm going to have some kind of like gallery representation for that because that's like really hard to do if you don't already have
You might be able to.
Maybe.
I mean, Brett, well, he does gallery, but I mean, with your reach, you might be able to.
Yeah. Also, I don't want to do a lot of the heavy lifting for that. Like, if I can price it that high and give it to a gallery and they can, like,
do the things.
Yeah, it's like a good split where I wouldn't do that with functional stuff where it's like $100 for a mug, they take half. That's not worth it because I can just sell that. But I would definitely like hand over like 40-50% to someone that sells something for like 10 grand or something, you know.
Yeah.
So,
shit. Yeah, that's some dollars right there.
Yeah. I mean, not that that's like possible with soon, but that's kind of the goal. It's like, yeah, if I can
You gotta work your way up to it, right?
Yeah, just like pass that off to somebody to sell it for me, and cool.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll
Yeah, I think I feel like Becca and I talk about the shows that we do a lot, and I'm very I've gone through some shows that are shit and some shows that are better. And I feel like it definitely depends on what work you produce, what shows you should be applying for.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I've just never had good luck with shows ever.
Shows are hard. Like,
I mean, like I always get the cheapy ones, but
Yeah,
but
those
even
are-
Ryan gets the cheapy ones, and he does great. And
depends on the price point of like where
Yeah.
your sweet spot is and what people
Yeah.
are coming to the show for.
I'm just a bad show person. That's just. But I'm hoping that'll change with earrings.
oh yeah. Earrings
So-
are gonna do great.
Well, we'll see.
Fire.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's see. I'm not. I have a really good, hopefully a good show coming up this weekend.
Oh yeah.
Now this will be it or something like that.
Mhm.
And I am not going in with high hopes. I found out where my booth is. It's in the corner by where all the brewery stuff is, so like on the
Perfect.
other side. So I'm hoping that like I'll be able to draw people in, but also I'm not fucking banking my money on it, but also I am banking money on it.
But also, I-
Like if it turns out to be shit, I'm not gonna be upset,
Right.
but I'd like to make some money.
I mean, is it at Sun King?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You'll do great. Yeah. It's like, is it 1 day or 2 day?
it's 2.
Yeah. You'll do fine.
Yeah, so
I did that one whenever I think I did it last year. But it's kind of turned into more like earrings, vintage, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I started out doing it. First year was good. That's how Marret got the job at Gravescale.
Yeah.
And then I just vintage stuff, especially with like $100 mugs versus like a $50 shirt type of stuff. The mugs just don't.
Vintage
win
people
out.
are the fucking
They're
weirdest people.
ballsy.
Like they're like, I'm not gonna pay. Like, are you fucking kidding me? $100 for a handmade mug, and then they see a sweatshirt from 1992, and they're like, $200. What a steal!
Oh my
What a
gosh.
fucking steal! And I'm like, you are stupid.
But also it has to do like I forget what I was talking to this about, but it's also your priorities. So it's like
Right.
everybody's priorities are different. So like if you were interested in like fine art, good things,
Yeah.
you're gonna go for the handmade ceramic.
I
mug.
know.
If you don't like good things, I'm just kidding.
You're like, you know what? Wait 10 years, you'll find my pots at Goodwill anyway. It's gonna be fine.
Sell them for $300 at Goodwill. Vintage.
Yeah.
Goodwill's gonna turn into like this high class like.
Yeah, if somebody
super-
doesn't get another fucking vintage store out here, or like another fucking like
Yeah.
thrift shop that actually sells shit for cheap,
Yeah.
like
I know. It's silly.
nonprofit,
Yeah.
my ass.
I mean, that's true. That's a good point.
Are you comfortable sharing numbers from your shows that you do? Because I'm curious how someone selling $60, $100 higher price items sells at a show. Because all my stuff is averaging like 35, like a $35 sale is average. So I'm
I would
curious.
like to interject as well. Keep in mind that you are taking how many pieces to a show? Ish?
50.
50 versus your 150?
200,
potentially
200 probably.
200, 250?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've settled
All right.
that. Okay.
Yeah. So I think at the Michiana Pottery Tour, this was a 2-day thing, but the second day wasn't super hot and it was rainy and didn't do super good. So I like to chalk it up to like 1 day of sales for that. But I think before like taxes and stuff, I made a little over 3,000 just that day, and that was my first time doing it. So like my name wasn't out there yet or anything.
Yeah.
At Penrod, I think that was just a day.
Mhm.
And I made, what did I make? I think 4,000.
Yeah.
Something like that. I can't
think
remember
so.
off the top of my head.
Nice.
But Brad Ripple Art Fair, I think that one was similar to the Penrod one. That was a 2-day though, and that one was a little bit slower just because it was, well, what was it? That one was
hot as fuck.
yeah, that too. But I think that there was something to do with there was an art, what's it called? Like younger artists and they like I don't know, they switched up my booth on accident for
Like up and coming emerging artists.
yeah,
Something
and
like
I
that.
was put like they were down there, and I was like right beside them with something else where I wasn't supposed to be. It was fine, but so that kind of dropped sales like not a lot, but just a little bit. So it depends on like the spot. It depends on how many years you've been doing it. It depends on like, I think specifically for those like craft fairs where it's like if people know your name, they're gonna come back like third or fourth year. Like I've done Pinrod twice now, and so that's been wait, no. Yeah, I did do Pinrod twice. Broad Ripple was my first time doing it. So that's why sales were a little lower on that one. But Pinrod was
What was Broad Ripple?
uh what did I say?
You didn't say.
Oh, I think that was around 3,000.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that
How much was the Christmas show?
stop.
But
Stop.
did you pay $1,200 for the booth,
We
or did you split
split
the booth?
We split the booth fee, and
Okay.
I think we each made around 600.
We made 800. I think you
800?
actually might have made 1100.
Oh, nice.
I don't know how.
I don't remember. It
But
was
you-
not
okay.
good. It was so bad.
I think I made 800 and you made 11. I want to say, and I was selling fucking shitty
Oh
cups,
my
like
God.
hardcore shitty cups.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was my first round.
Yeah.
That would have been manageable for like the two of you to get like 1,900, 2,000 if you paid
Yeah.
600 for the booth, but like a $1,200 booth for 2,000, like.
It was for like 5 days. It was
Oh, it was
nine-
that long, wasn't
from
it?
like 9 a.m. to like 9 p.m. It was
That's bad.
the worst
We
show.
had to do shifts.
We did. Thank God, because I don't know how I would have. I don't know how I would have done it. I don't know.
Yeah,
It was awful.
it was
Anyway.
awful.
But like the Sun King one that she's talking about, that one was a 1-day event that I did downtown Indy, and I think I made maybe 1,500. So it just like depends. That one was a.
That's what-
Pioneer.
Oh, I don't want to say that actually.
Mm.
I feel like similar
Yeah.
amounts have been made
Mhm.
by
Okay.
similar people.
Yeah.
And
So
the
it's
booth
like-
fees at most of those events, the Broad Ripple,
Oh.
the Pinrods, those are like what, 300?
Oh yeah,
something like that.
Pinrod, and that is like I think that one was 375.
Mhm.
And those are like normal. And then what else?
Sun King is 200.
Yeah,
I'm
for
only in it.
today.
I'm only in it because
they're good.
I'm only in it because Rebecca applied and then
Yeah.
she didn't want it, and so
Mhm.
I got it.
I mean, they like it's great for a weekend. You're here. That's
Mhm.
the only reason I did the one downtown, because I was like, I'm literally a mile from this. I can wheel my tin in, set up, sell for like 5 hours,
Yeah.
and then leave with like $1,500. That's not a bad day.
Yeah,
So, like,
totally.
why not?
It's like a marketing group that has it in different cities, right? I think they DM'd me or something. I was like, I can't do that.
No,
It's
Because there was
like
one
right
in
up the
Cincinnati
road.
that they had.
there's one in Cincinnati and one in Louisville, I think.
Okay.
They're
Near
not
Louisville.
bad.
They're not bad.
I mean, but
But I mean, like I've been to one of their events that was a fucking.
Dog.
It was horrible. Like that's where me and Deanna met actually. It was at one of the 6 ways.
Oh yeah.
It was like at the Amp, which is not very popular, but it was like the first nice day of the year,
Yeah.
and like nobody showed up, and I made $80, and like 40 of that was Sarah's parents.
They came to the Michiana Pottery Tour. They were so sweet. Shout out to Sarah's parents. and
Sarah Rich Creek,
Sarah Rich Creek, yes.
not Sarah
Not
Anderson.
me. Ain't like
talking to yourself in the third person. Okay, that's what happens when you get to 100,000, huh?
Woo! Yeah, no, so but yeah, like I have been to a few of hers that were really bad, but they market really well.
Mhm.
And like I guess the lady that runs it's super fucking great.
She's
and-
awesome. Beck. She's really
Yeah,
cool.
Beck.
I like her a lot.
Yeah.
I think there are some shows that are like really good at social media, and
Mhm.
it's almost a trick sort of that they get vendors to do it because they have these high expectations, and then it's
Yeah.
a flop. I participate in a couple of those, and it's like, yeah, you're really good at marketing, but you can't get the customers here at the end of the day. So,
I did a show at Hotel Tango. I'm totally blasting them. I did a show at Hotel Tango. It wasn't
I'm
even a
gonna
show.
piggyback off this so hard.
Okay. I did a little like morning thing at Hotel Tango. It was like a Saturday morning or whatever. And they like put you inside and there was tables. And Rebecca did like maybe the first one. And she made like $500.
is
And
this
it was
actually a
like,
hotel, or is it like the name of a brewery?
it's a whiskey distillery.
Okay.
And she made like $500. And so she was like, hey, you should do this if you have the day free. And so I did. They They never advertised anything. They didn't have the door open, so nobody came inside. And I made like maybe $100, and it was $50. It was $50. It was so bad.
Okay, I'll top that. I did one at Hotel Tango. I made no money.
No money.
The one and only show that I've ever done where I like just walked into it and I was like, hey, I'm an artist. Can I come back in like an hour and set up? And it was when I first was starting. So I was just like, whatever. And literally set up and made no money.
Wow.
I'm surprised they even let you. Like,
I'm
if you're that
impressed,
desperate to
too.
fill
So,
the
like,
spaces
no
that
harm,
somebody's stumbling off
I'm
the street.
really
could be like,
impressed.
I was ballsy.
Maybe
I don't know
you're
why I
the
did
reason
that.
that they do the hotel tank. Oh, look at our cheese now.
No,
Is-
Becca! Dude, do you see this clump?
oh my gosh, it's so clumpy.
That looks like cottage cheese. That is nasty. I made a mistake. Anyway, I won't relive.
Cheese debacle.
So yeah, that is my one and only show where I just went into it blind. I was like, whatever, and I didn't come out on top. So it happens. But
You kids and your instant success.
so I
I feel
don't.
like you got to go through some flubs to be like, okay, now I know what to look for and what not to look for.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like I wouldn't after that show in the convention center and that's the Hotel Tango one. I was like, I'm not gonna do anything unless somebody else tells me it was good. So
Yeah.
Are you asking other potters at least? So it's like they're at least in your medium,
I
or
don't
their
ask
price
anybody
points similar, or
yeah, except potters. I won't ask painters. I won't ask woodworkers just because it's so different. Like it's so different. So if I will specifically ask another potter
Mhm.
what shows. So
Yeah.
I did Noblesville and it was a day and I made $1,000. That was pretty good.
all right,
I mean, like, and it was in the middle of a fucking.
Yeah.
It was like just in town, you know.
dude, that's not bad.
It wasn't bad.
No.
yeah, that's good.
Also, to like kind of go off that, I've had a lot of questions about consignment and like wholesale stuff. I think specifically for my work, I'm at a weird in between of like sculptural yet functional yet like I don't want to do wholesale, but I want to sell a lot of it. I don't really know where I
Yeah.
fit yet, but
You're in the. I work really hard on this.
yeah. So pay me
Stage, yeah.
what
The price point, yeah. Is it like, could you even make money at half price?
No, not at all. And I don't
Mhm.
do that. I don't do wholesale. But I've gotten a lot like just sticking to that and like finding other ways to make money and just sticking to my prices on like what I need to make for those. I've gotten like I do a lot of commission work and I have a set price for those. If people email me with something, I'll be like it's like minimum of this amount. It can go up to whatever, but like that's where we start at. And I've gotten a lot of good feedback from that, which is really cool. And I do like 4 or 5 commissions a month, I think, and that makes up
Really?
the
Wow.
money that I need.
That's where the cats came from. They were commissioned.
Oh, okay. So what is the scope of those? Is it this is my style? You can pick
Yeah.
the imagery and the colors, and that's about it.
Yeah, for the most part, it's been really nice to just have people be like, I love your work. I would like a commission set of this thing and just do it. Like, whatever you want to do with it, just do it. But I want like I have a commission for, I think, six or 8 goblets that I'm going to do in the end of the year.
I'm so sorry.
It's going to be really fun.
Have
I'm
you
really
made goblets before?
Yeah,
Okay.
not a whole lot, but I'm
You
excited.
better fire those to cone 5 and not cone 6. That person's gonna fucking.
I've done a lot of the I have some like sewer rat cups that I do with the little trash
Oh
cans
yeah,
on the
those were
bottom.
good.
So,
Those were sturdy.
It's gonna be fun. So I've got some of those and yeah, just some other really fun projects I'm pretty excited about. So that like give me the freedom to be creative with those, and I don't feel like I have to be super functional with that. But again, I think that comes from the Instagram and like the following that I have, which gives me that creative freedom, which is really cool.
So that's where the inquiries are coming from?
I'm assuming they don't always.
What do you? Oh, so they're coming to your website and they're like filling out a contact form or something.
Yeah. Everything usually comes through my website 'cause I
Okay.
can't keep up with Instagram. I can't see a message on Instagram.
Right. I'm
So-
sure a lot of people get, because how do you handle the inquiry? Do you generally kind of go with them of what their ideas are, or is it if you get somebody that comes in with like A, B, C, D of what I want, and then you're like, Okay, they're gonna be a handful, so I'm gonna go back. Okay.
I'll give them my timeline, my price point. I'll say this is my portfolio I have on my website. If you see something you like, cool. Anything that's like a commission is something that I've already made, and that is like a set price point. If they want something different than that, it's like double the amount. So I don't want to put in like
Double. Wow. Okay.
I used to do it where I would just like make whatever whenever because I needed the money, but I'm at the point where I don't have to do that, and that's like really exhausting if I have to do something specific.
So how much the teapot with the cats? How much did you charge for that?
I think that was 600.
And there was a teapot and how many cups?
4. And they were 75 a cup, and then I think 250 for the teapot. I can't remember. Something around that, like 600-700 something.
So you agree on the total price, and then do you accept a deposit up front?
Yeah, I do usually. If it's over like 500, I'll do like a 10%, and if it's lower than that, I'll do a 25%. So.
Okay.
Just kind of a ballpark.
I didn't realize that's a good amount of commissions though every month, 4 to 5 commissions a month.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it could range it from like
Yeah.
1 or 2 pieces to 6 or so pieces.
Yeah, so that's honestly taken up a lot of my time. That's why I haven't done a lot of online updates, because I've just done commissions each month, and then I'll do teaching, and then I'll do an in-person show. So I just get to make what I want, which is awesome. People buy it, and then I just restock. So it's been kind of nice.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, there's definitely ways to make that work. With
And
the
it's not like
commissions.
consistent, you know. It's like I can't really like judge that. So if I don't have, like, I usually get, like, right now I'm pushed to like January for commissions, and so I'll just usually have people filter in. So I'm usually booked like at least 4-5 months in advance, so I usually have a pretty steady income with that since I book it so far in advance, which is nice.
Yeah. And are they all, you've kind of talked about the forms that you're commissioning, but are they all kind of within the realm of like comfort of something you've already done or that you can do?
Yeah,
so there's only like
part.
10% unknown in there versus
Yeah.
like 50%
pretty much.
unknown.
Yeah, like that cat commission, that was so fun. The cat was totally drawn up, like, that was totally new. But it was a design rather than like a form, so I can mess up on paper and I wouldn't have to pay, to, like, if I messed up the form of the teapot, it would cost more for the clay and all that. But if I mess up the design, it doesn't cost me a whole lot. So that if they want a whole new form that I've not done before, I'll charge more for that. But if it's a new design, it's just a little bit more, just because it's like easier. I don't know. It's about the same.
Yeah.
I haven't had a whole.
Well, it's nice because your forms are kind of a standard.
Yeah.
And then the colors and the designs and the carving is a variable that you could play with.
Yeah. I get really excited though. I'm really excited about these goblets and like some just fun stuff. And the people that order those commissions are usually like pretty fun people. So I can just have fun with it and I can go wacky.
You know what's crazy is that I was at the farmers market in Lawrence, and like somebody came up and I think they were buying a mug or a wine glass or something, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we saw these really cool cups at what's the place that you saw? Leviathan. And I was like, "Oh, are they Sarah's?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, she's my studio mate." And they're like, and I was like, "Are you the cat people?" And
I forgot about that.
And they were like, "Yeah, he got it for me for my birthday." And her husband had bought her this tea set for her birthday. Yeah. And I was like, "Those were the coolest."
They were so awesome. They were very fun.
They were very nice. She had like a purple mohawk.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
She needed those cats.
She did.
Nice.
I love that.
I have a separate question, unless Becca has something. Becca, chime in here if you want.
No, you're good. I like when I like know you, like when I like, it's better if you interview.
Well, if you know something to tease out that you already know about her that you think would be interesting. Well.
Oh. That face is like, I know everything.
No, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What was your question?
All right. I was gonna ask about Ceramics Monthly.
Oh.
Oh,
So
yeah. I
yeah,
don't know.
you recently got published in there. It was Ceramics Monthly, right? Not Illustrated.
Yeah,
Not
Ceramics
how you're
Monthly.
making Illustrated. Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you like go about getting in there? Did you have to come up with a topic, or do they have applications, or how does that work?
So, oh gosh, I'm gonna forget her name. Jessica Knapp. That's her name. And I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your last name if you're listening. But she's the editor of Ceramics Monthly, and so she reached out through my website back in March when me and Marret took our mobile makers trip. So the first time I was in Ceramics Monthly was in February issue of our mobile makers trip. And for those of you that don't know,
That was my other topic I was going to ask about.
me and Marret Marret Metzger, she's another ceramic artist in the studio with me and Becca. She and I decided to take a month-long trip in my Sierra Scotty Sportsman 1960 and my dog Pip, and we traveled 7,400 something miles in about a month. So we went through Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, up to Sacramento and back through. So we just went up to Sacramento, California for NCCA in March. So that was wild. That was a lot of fun. And they just randomly like messaged me, I think in December, and asked if I wanted to write, if me and Merritt wanted to write a article just on like what we were doing. So I honestly have no idea how she found us or how she found the story, but I had it on my website. So I mean, she messaged me through my website. So so she found us that way. But she asked us to write an article. Me and Merritt wrote the article. And that was our first publication in that. And then I applied for the emerging artist this year and then didn't get that, but she reached out to me and was like, hey, like, sorry you didn't get in. There were a lot of applications, but would you like to write an article just like in whatever October for just like whatever you're doing? I was like, yeah, that'd be great. So
is that because you had to talk about your process as an emerging artist? You had to like build up the kind of process you do and things like that, or
not really? I think that I assume that she's a fan of my work just because she like reached out and asked me to do that because I didn't have that was totally random for me. So she had the idea of like doing a process piece with like one of the sewer rats or one of the other ones. And I was like, yeah, this is what I'm working on right now. So we can totally do that. She was like, yeah. So it was really, just like her reaching out, probably, not a pity invite, but she was like, dang, sorry you didn't get this, but like, here's a few pages. I was like, I'll take it. That's awesome. So yeah, she was super awesome through that whole process. But yeah, it was a lot of writing. That was the most writing I've done. And I got paid for it. So that was even better. I was like,
how much did they pay you?
Like $200.
Oh, nice.
I know. I was like, this is awesome. So yeah, it's the biggest spread
I think
that I've
that you
ever
can
got.
submit. I think that you can like email
That's
it,
what
be
somebody
like,
said,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure you can, and like submit an idea, and they'll choose you, and they pay you. Like there's people that regularly write articles for Ceramics Monthly.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. One of my other friends wrote an article for somebody else's work. I was like, oh, and I think they get paid. Whoever writes it gets paid.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. So the whole thing is this like 2-page feature?
It was a couple pages of writing, and I think it was 6 pages, like front and back 6 pages of like the content. Story and then images.
Oh, okay. So it's in the October issue, and it's called. Is that the actual title of it? Capturing the Story.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Capturing the Story.
Sweet.
Wow,
Did you?
So introspective.
I know. I like went kind of deep on it. I was like, it's fun.
Yeah. So it talks about building the form, choosing a color scheme. Yeah. So it's construction of
like the process like making.
I haven't read it, but I probably won't. I'm just gonna be honest.
Honestly, I didn't either. I read it and I didn't need to read it.
So do they have like editors and stuff that help you with?
Yeah. So I sent it to a few people to like edit for me just to like before I send it in, and then they have editors that go back and double check stuff. And so I edited it I think twice, sent it back in a couple times just for small revisions, but yeah, wasn't too bad.
Okay. So you're writing everything, and then you're just submitting a few photos, and they decide how to put it all together and all that.
Yeah. And I realized that was I had a picture on one of the front pages too, where you go in and turn to see what things are on what pages. And my little sewer rat jar was at the top page. I was like, yes, snuck it in there. But I was like, that's the key, is just to send them a bunch of pictures, and they'll just probably put one of those on another page too. I sent them like probably 100 pictures of stuff. It was a lot.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Are you doing the photography yourself? I saw there was like a gradient and whatnot.
Yeah, I do most of the photography myself, and then I think one of them was through Companion Gallery for one of their surface shows recently this year. So I used one of their pictures, and then the rest were mine. So
yeah.
Do
you apply to a lot of other shows and galleries? And
I did at the beginning. That's actually a good point for people just starting out and wanting to I feel like it's just such a weird world where you can do just so many things with the type of art that you are making. So you can do the residency route, or you can do the gallery route, or you can do both of those, or you can do production pottery, or you can do production pottery and the gallery route, or you can mix and match all of these different things. But I was an idiot my first year doing this, and I decided to do everything, and that was really dumb because I got burnt out so fast. So I did galleries. I didn't do any. I did
galleries exhibition, applying for exhibitions.
Yeah. So Companion Gallery, or Clay Car, or Good Earth Pottery, or other all different types of specifically just ceramic galleries. So I would submit stuff to those, and I've been in those a few times. And that's just a great way to get your name out there if you're trying to be a little bit more professional with it, or
a ceramicist.
Yeah, not a potter.
Seen as an otter. An otter. I was gonna say an artist and then potter. An artist, not a potter.
An otter.
Oh, that's perfect. I'm trying to be an otter. Yeah, I don't really know where I fall yet, honestly, between those. So maybe I am an otter, but it is what it is. I really like that description. Because I do. It's I still don't know if I want to do residencies. I don't think I want to get my MFA. But I also want to sell on I want to sell a decent price point for pieces in galleries. But I also want to I don't want to. I'm just in between it. I feel I'm not sure where I fall yet. But that's why I was maybe I should just do all of it, and then I can dial it back from there.
Yeah.
So
I have to decide what to dial back. Was it what was giving you the most headache, or was it?
I think it was I dialed back on the galleries for sure, because I was doing one a month. I was going for it. I was trying to put so many into so many places all at once, and it was exhausting.
Are you generally taking finished work and photographing it, and then you're this is what I'm going to send, or are you making work specifically for a exhibition that's this is a teacup show, so I need to make some teacups?
So I did both. So I would do if they had any I don't know, if it was a specific teapot show or whatever, I would specifically make it for that. That was very stressful. Me and Marret were just talking about this. We were we're sending off stuff to Washington in December, and I was oh, I have some cups already. I can just take pictures of those and send those.
Where are you sending them? Good Earth?
Spokane, trackside.
Oh.
But I was dang, I have stuff made already. That's pretty cool. I can just take pictures of this, because sometimes I would be real ambitious and take pictures of stuff in the greenware stage.
Oh wow!
Send it off that way.
Really? They would accept it with greenware?
Well,
it looks the same.
Mine looks very much similar. So
you're saying with the underglaze and the color before?
Yeah. So I would just put high contrast on that. I'm
oh shit!
You get away with that. Marret would hate it every time I did that. And when I sold that planter. I sold a planter that was cracked in the bottom for $300, and she was she's so mad.
Marret is
because she has such high standards, or what?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, this is how I describe Marret and Sarah. Sarah is they're both me when I was 25, but Sarah's the rebellious kind that doesn't give a fuck, and Marret's the part that really cares.
But she also like just has such like her work is so finely crafted.
Yeah, she has the highest standards I've ever met of anybody.
She's got amazing work. And
Amazing.
so like mine on the other hand
She's like, you're gonna sell that with a crack in it?
I'm like, but I see myself as more of a sculptor. So like, if there's a crack, I'm gonna patch that and sell it. Like, that's fine. But coming from a ceramic background, it's very different. Where it's like, oh, this is like fine, you know, art, and it's like function, you know.
The form is compromised.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
And I'm like,
but it was a planter with a crack in the bottom.
I put Flex Seal in the bottom. That's never gonna leak.
Flex Seal.
You're fine. You're good. That's like stronger than ceramic.
I was thinking of.
I was just thinking of the boat commercial where they have Flex Seal with a bottomless boat, and they're like, Flex Seal. We cut this boat in half.
That's
and
such
just
a
like
commercial. They actually ride on a boat made completely of Flex Seal. It's amazing.
When you were talking about like commissions and you were like, I always do forms and I always do, I was like, bullshit. because one very specific example is this planter that she was like, oh, a 12-inch planter, no problem.
It broke like 3 times. By the end, I was like, whatever.
She had to do it in two. She had to do a two-part planter 3 times.
Yeah.
It sucked so bad.
And I was like, just don't do it in porcelain.
Yeah, I really shouldn't have. I need to find a good white stoneware clay body. Cone 6.
Iceman. Kentucky Mud Works Iceman.
Yeah, but Iceman is
It's
still
too
expensive.
tan.
Well, it's expensive. I like the color.
It's too expensive? Don't you use porcelain? Is that not super expensive?
Yeah, that's the thing. I want it less than $50 a box. I want it for like
How much is
You gotta
Iceman?
buy a lot of it.
yeah.
How much is Iceman?
Like that 50 something. I don't remember.
Why don't you get B-Mix?
Not
Yeah,
50 a box.
I don't like B-Mix.
B-Mix and Iceman are the same fucking thing.
No, B-Mix is more finicky.
I don't like B-Mix.
Okay, fine. That's fair.
It warps more and it doesn't handle attachments very well.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's
so,
just my experience with it, but
I've never liked it that much. But I forget what
I don't even know what we were talking about. We were talking about
how
the
the fuck much is the clay I use? That's basically Iceman. I do remember though.
You did get a decent discount on yours though.
I do remember though the first time I bought it, I was like, "What the actual fuck?" Like because I paid $9 a bag in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's so cheap.
So cheap.
So cheap, and it was kind of shitty clay, but it still was.
That's like a reclaim clay price.
I would take that over what I'm paying now. I would take the clay that I had for $9 over what I'm doing now for $20.
Really?
Like it was comparable. Like
that makes sense.
You know, throwing it and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like, yeah, I was so surprised. I'm like, and you know why Iceman and all of Kentucky Mud Works is so expensive? It's fucking because Link is a fucking businesswoman and she's like, you're gonna pay for this fucking clay.
But if it's a good quality, you will pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I called her and I was like, or I texted her and I was like, hey, because I was using Dark Star for the earrings and it was getting short.
Oh yeah.
And
I remember that.
it was like immediately short. Like immediately.
Right.
I had to buy a little humidifier. It's right there.
Oh, it's so cute.
And so I call and she's like, yeah, it's short. But she was like, it's because I throw really fast and I'm only a production potter. I'm not a hand builder. So she was like, and nobody really actually fucking tells me that something's wrong. So I called her and I was like, this is not okay. It needs a little bit more bentonite in it. And she's like, yeah, good to know. Like, she was like, nobody that actually hand builds, like, calls her up and says, hey, maybe this could use some fixing.
Yeah. I feel like Mudworks is more known for throwing clay, not
exactly. It's throwing clay. It's throwing clay. And I love that and the fact, and it's, in my opinion, the best throwing clay because of the slip. issue. It all sinks like straight down to the bottom. But because she doesn't put bentonite in it, so it doesn't suspend. You know how B-Mix,
Yeah.
like, but yeah, she was like, she's working on a new thing for B-Mix or for whatever it's called, Dark Star, and so she's gonna send me.
I mean, that's nice to have both, like working, hand building, and throwing.
Yeah, and she's gonna send me a bag when it when it gets done. So it should be fixed soon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's good.
I think retail the Iceman that I get is like 28 a box, and then I buy it in bulk, so it's like 22 a box.
What?
How are you spending $50 a box? That doesn't make sense.
where are you buying it?
Okay.
Are you buying it online and getting it shipped to you or something? Like
So
from
I've only bought
third
it
party?
I've only bought like tests of it, and so I bought half bags and it's from like other
Companies?
like art centers and things, so they upcharge it a lot.
How much did I charge you for my
Are they
bag?
charging double?
Honestly, no. Now that I think about it, probably.
Probably. Well, and we can always ship it in. We can always ship it in.
I need to get like
that
a palette.
Iceman is the same clay as Dark Star.
I remember you saying that just without the.
Yeah, just without the manganese.
I can give Becca a bag of Iceman if you want to try it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see him next week.
I would love that. That would be
Yeah.
awesome.
So,
Yeah.
Is that 6?
5.
5? Oh, that's fine.
It's like a 5
Which
to
would
7.
be fucking great.
Is
if
it
you
stoneware?
could- Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
porcelain?
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
it's not
there
porcelain.
might have been a different one that I tried.
You're talking
because
about
it
White
was-
Lightning.
I am.
White Lightning is really
Lightning's
expensive.
Expensive as fuck.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, I would love to try the Iceman one. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm
And
so-
like Becca said, Iceman is basically Dark Star, but it doesn't have the specs.
Yeah, so it's the same
Is
color.
it pretty white?
No,
What?
it's that tan.
Oh.
It's not tan. I mean, it's white.
It's
Oh,
goodness.
oh.
Not
Have you tried
tan.
that? I think okay.
You used it.
I didn't use it. I lied. I
Yes,
straight
you have
lied.
a cup on your table.
Do I?
Yes. Hold on, let me go get one.
That's Iceman?
Dark Star.
I've used Dark Star.
Yeah,
because-
Dark Star is Iceman
without.
with speckles.
Okay.
So it's the same color.
I'm now fully with you. I was using the White Lightning.
The White Lightning, which is killer expensive.
So expensive, but I liked it.
It is great.
Unfortunately, I
Yeah.
just like the expensive ones.
I would
Also-
suspect going from porcelain to white stoneware is probably like, because you're so used to porcelain, right?
Well, and I also think that really we should get a bag. We should ask Link if she's done with the white bear,
I do. Yeah, I should do that. I should try that.
because she gave me a test of white bear, but it was waterlogged.
Oh,
I have it in the studio.
Really?
We could rehydrate it.
okay.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
White Bear and Iceman are the two like mid-range white stonewares that are
Okay.
most common.
Mhm.
I think I would prefer White Bear because I don't want it tan. I don't want
Yeah,
it.
no.
I want the white.
See,
So-
I wasn't wrong.
Yeah. I was not thinking of the correct one. So
I guess
You
if
know
you're
what's
comparing
really
it to
cool?
porcelain, it might look tan, I guess. I don't know.
You know what's like the coolest clay actually that I wish that we had is NZ porcelain, New Zealand
Mm.
porcelain. It's the whitest porcelain you can get, and it's translucent.
Oh.
It is so fucking cool, but it is a bitch and a half. Like I had a
I
student.
bet
that
it costs an arm and a leg too.
Yeah,
Oh,
it costs a lot,
man.
and I had a student that would throw with it, and if she even tweaked it, it would
Just-
warp,
Oh, I would. Yeah.
and
I would-
glaze just runs right off.
Oh,
of it.
Sarah, sculptor brain, trying to. You ain't throwing Flex Seal in that bitch.
I sculpt with Flex Seal, just like
Yes.
honestly, I'm missing my market here, guys.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You could continue the lovely little TikTok series I started that I never finished of trying to throw things with
Your Play-Doh.
When I
thing?
threw the
Gee,
Play-Doh.
that was Flex Seal.
Flex Seal. Can you imagine your hands after?
No.
You'd have to wear gloves.
You would have to. Like you would not. Like that would hurt so bad. I mean, they made a boat out of it, so there are possibilities.
They made a boat.
Endless possibilities. I'm down.
I want to see. What I really want to try to do is see if polymer clay can throw.
Ooh. Interesting. Probably.
I
don't know.
have some, but you have to get it like really soft.
Yeah, you'd have to like heat that up.
Not even heat it up. I don't even know.
I don't know how you would do that because it's oil based. I don't know how you would.
You heat it up with your hands.
That's true.
Anyway.
Sorry, I do.
Are you all planning a trip for mobile makers anytime in the future?
That's a great question.
Or how did that come about that you
All
all?
in transitional stages.
Yeah, so we had the one, we felt good about that, and if it is what it is at this point, awesome. But we're both, I mean, Becca's already, I don't want to.
I've already said it.
Okay, so Becca's got the van, and Merritt and I are like, yeah, we've always wanted to do that. That's awesome. So I'm not gonna say anything for sure
Commit
yet,
to anything.
but van life maybe in the future, and that might push something with the mobile makers.
I was
so.
thinking about it today, and I was like, I don't know if it's just fucking ironic that we like all are in a studio and we're all like interested in living in a van in our future. But like, I was like, is it? I like for me
You'd be pulling
in my
the mobile maker studio behind the Dodge ProMaster.
no, I'm not part of Mobile Makers,
Hey,
but
you never know.
you never know. But like, I'm like the old lady. But I was thinking about it and I was like, is van life, like, I feel like it's really cliche now. Like van life
For
is super
sure.
It's
cliche.
trendy.
What?
It's trendy.
Yeah, it's super trendy.
It's so
Like,
like in the best way possible.
And
It's
I don't-
still
yeah,
cool.
I still
guys.
don't know if it's like, yeah, I don't know if it's like a good trend or
I
a
fully
bad trend.
think it's amazing.
And it's like something I've wanted to do since I was
Yeah.
5. So like, I mean, except for that was a semi. But like,
dude, you missed your calling.
did you know that? That's what, like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a semi driver so that I could sleep.
Oh my god.
I could like make the back into a living room.
Yes.
I didn't want to drive goods. I just wanted
You
to
just wanna
drive the
sleep.
truck.
Honestly, that's a beautiful dream,
Yeah.
and it's coming to.
It's coming to
fruition.
life. Yeah. No, I like, this has been my plan like basically my whole life.
How
But
do you feel?
I feel scared shitless. But I mean, not really. It's not even about living in the van. That I'm
Yeah.
fine with.
Yeah.
I'm mostly scared about the financing of the van, as we've discussed.
Well, yes, yeah.
And like, just like, I don't know if
But
they're
damn,
gonna.
like you're fulfilling this like
Yeah.
childhood dream. Like I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
For sure.
sweet.
Like, I've always been a fucking nomad.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah. So
Makes
like,
sense.
and I mean, like, living out of my car, that's no problem. You know. That's easy.
Don't spit up the.
The hardest
Classic.
part is gonna be like, I like got comfy here, you know, so I have
Yeah.
some shit here. So the hardest part's
Yeah.
gonna be, you know, I can move some of this art stuff to the studio.
Yeah.
But
I'll take your robot vacuum.
yeah, it's lost currently. I think it's under the couch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I always wanted to live in a silo.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
For those of you that don't know what a silo is,
It's a grain.
it's a grain storage
Unit.
And I don't quite know, but I thought
Like
it'd
you
be
wanted levels in there?
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's tons of people that live in silos.
yeah. I wanted
Really?
Yeah.
staircases in there, like spiral staircase all the way up to the top, like.
Ooh, if the van life wasn't gonna be my like thing, it was definitely treehouse. I was
Oh, yeah.
like, I can remember when I
Yeah.
was younger, like I was like, if I just move, I'll just like run
Yeah.
away, go into the forest, and then just like
Mhm.
fucking lift up platforms into the
Right,
trees.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's that movie?
Into the wild?
I do love that.
Without a
movie.
paddle.
Rip. No, it's this family that gets. Oh.
Swiss Family Robinson?
Yep.
Okay. That's the last one we get to, and that should have been the first.
Yeah, that one. After watching that as a child, I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. An elaborate treehouse for the family, perfect.
Perfect.
George of the Jungle?
That is also a 10 out of 10. Love that.
I rewatched that semi recently. Doesn't quite hold up.
Oh, this is news, by the way. Did you know? Not that you care, but did you know that they're coming out with a Sister Act 3?
What?
I did see that.
Honestly, it's gonna be the best one.
I'm upset that you did not send me that.
I was like,
got-
Becca's gonna love this. I figured you already saw it like 2 days before I did.
I didn't. Somebody sent it to me.
Becca Rachel showed me, and I was like,
Dude,
should have said you should have sent that to Becca.
Whoopi hasn't aged a day.
Oh, what a goddess.
Wow.
Favorite actress.
For sure.
I didn't realize the heavier set woman was in Hocus Pocus as well. I didn't realize they were the same person.
Which one?
No.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I ever put that together
The
either.
Happy Nun?
Yeah.
Because I just watched the
new one.
Hocus Pocus 2, and I was like,
Wait.
and I looked her up, and I was like, that's the same woman in Sister Act. Yeah.
Yeah, the really loud one.
Sister Mary.
The Sunshine one.
Sister Mary.
Sister Mary, not Clarence.
She's Sister Mary Clarence. I think she's
Mary
Sister
Clarence.
Mary. Not Patrick. She's shit.
God, what is her last name?
Ryan, doesn't this look like Babs?
Kinda.
I was showing Sarah the capybara from Encanto and how it looks like Babs, how she just stands on the counters.
It really does. I'm not eating this cheese anymore.
Mary Patrick, that's her name. Sister Mary
It is
Patrick.
Sister Mary Patrick. Okay, yeah, I watched it last night. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's like one of the only movies I can watch and like go over there and I still like see it in my head, you know.
Yeah.
I like how you told us that last.
So we were talking about the van life thing. What do you think is enticing about it? Like, why are people drawn to that, do you think?
I mean, recession? No.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason it's become popular.
Property values that are not attainable.
Yeah. It's like cheaper.
Yeah, for sure. I do think that, and also for me personally, it's just like the freedom to move around. So
Yeah.
like I love it here. I want to keep the studio. I don't know how long or what that looks like, but I mean, it's like $300 a month for that?
Yeah, that's like a good home base for us.
Like I would love to just have a home base to keep my stuff in it so I can keep working out of it because I need that. Like I'm going to have to work out of somewhere regardless.
Right.
So I think that having that, and then also I'm going to start applying to some residencies this summer or in January, February, and then hopefully getting something this summer that's like a short-term residency, just to like go out and meet people out west somewhere. But we'll see. So that's on the process of like what I'm going to apply for, and then having a place that can be transportable to go and just like have the freedom to live in. And I have a dog, so that adds another layer to it of places that don't always take dogs.
Yeah.
So I'll have like a little wiggle room, but it just feels like the road to freedom. I can just like take the van anywhere.
I agree. Like when I initially like decided finally, it was like, okay, I don't want to buy another house.
Right.
Especially not in this market, and I don't want a lawn. Like
You want to maintain.
I have no interest in maintaining a lawn. So like that leaves me with a fucking condo, and I don't want a condo either because then you're like, why not just live in an apartment? And
Just live in a van.
yeah, and then it's like, okay, but if I buy a van and I can pay it off in 6 years or 5 years or whatever, then I have a place. If shit hits the fan, I can at least park it somewhere.
Yeah.
And like literally live down by the river, but like but I could like park it in my parents' yard, like back in their yard, or like.
You mean if you don't need the van anymore, or you're talking about if you need to
like
set up shop somewhere?
Yeah, if I have to like stay somewhere and get a job or whatever, I can park it somewhere still and have like the amenities that I need, aka a bed, and like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot more. I mean, it's not permanent, but it feels a lot more secure than an artist in this type of climate, you know?
100%.
Like, I know that I can pay I'm doing it a little. I'm doing the 30s version. You know, and I feel a little bad. Like, I feel weird because I feel like I should be buying like a $20,000 van. But also, I'm 32 and I fucking worked my ass off, and I can get a brand new fucking van.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to do all the, you know, like, I don't have your dad.
Yeah.
You know?
Mechanic.
Yeah, I don't have like a mechanic in my life. And so, but like, it's, I don't know, it's just like, I know I can make that payment.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
get that payment in loan payments to me every single month, like whatever the payment will be. Now, getting it financed, that's a
Yeah.
different story.
But also, it's going back to you. Like, you're investing in yourself
Yeah.
with that, where it's not
Yeah.
going to like a rent. So that's
Yeah.
my main goal is like, I don't want to have to keep paying rent, not going towards something. So like,
Yeah.
if I can put it towards something towards myself, I don't want to buy a house yet, but like if I can put it towards something that's going to me,
yeah.
that's fine.
And even then, like if you do decide to buy a house or property, like I
Yeah.
have friends that have lived in a trailer for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And you know, they were from Art in the Park and they bought land, and so they're going to live in their trailer while they're building their house. And
That's what I want to do.
And like, yeah, like you can just park it on some land. You don't
Yeah.
have, the wheels don't have to run,
No.
you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that that's the thing.
And then
that-
you don't have to rely on fluctuations of gas prices and
Right. Like the wheels don't have to move,
Yeah.
but it is nice that they do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if they don't, like if they break,
It's fine.
and if it fucking breaks down, like who cares? It's still a living situation.
Yeah.
Tow it somewhere.
Yeah.
Park it on us.
And it's obviously not for everybody. Like, we're
Yeah.
pretty low maintenance.
yeah, I think some people, like Becca said, security. Like for some people, they would hear where Becca says it's more secure to have a vehicle. Some people would be like, well, that's less secure because you don't have like a shower or, you know,
Right.
certain things that other people feel like they have to have.
Showers.
That, yeah,
No, like-
you know, things that other people
I know.
need or like I don't know, going down in space. The
Yeah.
physical space limitations that you have, or if you have a family, you can't live out of a van with a family, probably,
Right.
unless you homeschool and you can make it work somehow or
You need
whatever.
a bus for that, so.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
true.
like yeah, not a lot of people are willing to downsize. Like
No.
the only thing that I have right now that I'm not willing to throw away is my art.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with, and my parents have a basement.
There you go.
So like I have a free storage unit, so I can just take, and I can also lend the art to people. Like you're getting art, you know,
Right.
when I, you know,
It's like, what?
no, he
No,
knows.
I knew that.
He knows. Like, and Teresa's getting art, and I'm just gonna put like my name on the back and like
Yeah.
document it. But yeah, like that's the only thing that I'm really not willing to like give up.
Yeah.
But everything else in this apartment is completely disposable
Yeah.
to me. So
And I also wonder too, because I already have the trailer and I already have the FJ Cruiser, and I can just tow that. Like I already have the setup. But
trailers suck.
trailers suck. Trailers are not great. Like it was fun driving it around those 7,000 miles, I suppose. But if I could do it on one vehicle, that would be awesome. But the amount of money that I have to put into like buying the van and renovating it would be fun. It would be a challenge, but it'd be fun. But I don't know if it's the smartest use of my money, especially because I already have
already
the
have one.
setup. So the only thing with the trailer that I have now is I have a bed, I have like a table, like some chairs in there, and a place where I have a fridge and like a place to put in a stovetop. So I could just like use that, but I think I would want to get something a little bigger. So part of me is like, well, maybe I just like get a little bigger trailer and then
That's a good like yours currently is like a good like weekend camping.
yeah, exactly.
Vehicle.
Just what I'm doing next weekend. But it's like I don't want to live out of that like fully. So I think I would want to
Yeah.
get something just a little bit bigger and then see where that goes. But
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking at videos, and it can cost. First of all, I fucking hate those people that are like, let's do a van tour, and they're like, I got my van from this company, and I'm like, motherfucker, you spent $120K on that
Oh.
motherfucking van.
we drove by some Mercedes vans, like built for that, and I was like,
Sprinter
how much
vans.
those are?
No, they're
That's like a $200,000 van.
That's
yeah.
a house.
That's a house. That's a nice
That's
house.
a house. Yeah,
What
and
the
so
heck?
like my van. I don't know if I should say this, but my van's gonna be $54,000.
You already said that.
Oh, I did. Okay, good. Which is a lot.
But like also investment.
Right, a lot, but an investment and a vehicle, and I need a vehicle anyway.
Security.
But like, I'm not fucking paying $50,000 on a reno.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My max budget on this fucking van is gonna be like 10K, and it's
That's
gonna
exactly what I was thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
what's Becca Reno gonna be? 10K, maybe 15K.
maybe 15K, but it's gonna be overtime. I'm not going into debt for this goddamn reno. I'm already going into debt for the van, and like the money is coming. When the money comes, the insulation gets in. When the money comes,
Yeah.
like
Right.
I'm not going all crazy on this thing. Like I'm gonna be sleeping on the floor for a good long while, which is fine with me, but maybe not for Lloyd. But
He'll get used to it.
But that's where you have to balance, like, not having a rent payment anymore,
right.
and then car payment, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, P.S. You don't know this. She does. It's in port. It's in the
Whoop,
port.
whoop, whoop.
So
Oh, is it? Okay.
yeah. So it'll be delivered in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Okay. We were kind of wondering a little bit of like, is Becca gonna have the van when she comes to Cincinnati for the show in a few weeks or not?
No, I won't. But
Are you going to Antigua?
Huh?
You going to Antigua this year?
yeah, I'm gonna stay at Ryan's house.
Dude, you bring a van?
Dude, bring the van. Bring the van to Antigua. Yeah,
Love
I'll
that.
have to come back because I'm gonna be on the West Coast, January, which I do every year, and now since last year I do it every year.
Yeah.
Like West and
Yeah, and I'll go down
visits in
visit
Washington.
Jen, and then go up and visit Washington. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll come back for home base.
Dude.
Yeah, but I'm staying at Ryan's house
I love that.
in the comfort of his guest bedroom.
Amazing.
Yes.
I get first dibs on the guest bedroom.
I was telling Becca about your little van thing, and she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, Becca's gonna like park it outside if she comes and visits at some point, and she'll just like stay for a period of time and just sleep in the van."
What did
like,
Rachel say?
She's like, "What? She's just gonna sleep?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "But we have a guest room." I'm like, "Well, if she's here for like 2 weeks or something, or however long, like
You need some privacy.
privacy. Maybe she can sleep in the guest room if she wants, but
I'll still use your shower. Don't worry.
yeah." And we have the basement shower too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, you guys are one of my main stops. You have a kiln.
Yeah.
You
I have the amenities.
Top thing.
You're my friends. You have a kitchen,
But you have a kiln. So.
2 kills. Yeah. Sarah, yours would be a little more difficult to be like if Becca's firing jewelry and stuff in her vehicle, like she could do it on a 120 volt.
Yeah.
You might not be able to make that work.
And mine's like full on. That's why I'm trying to set myself up right now with these virtual classes and some like passive ways. So I can take my wheel. I can do demos on the road. I can do that on Patreon. I can do that. Like that's fine. But the main thing that I'll probably do is I would go somewhere just for a residency. So
yeah.
that would have the kiln. That would have like the space that I could use to like make stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't think I would go.
Do you pay to be at a residency, or do they pay you?
I mean, it depends on what residency you want to apply or go to, but usually they have a stipend. That I mean, not very much, but sometimes they have housing, sometimes they have a stipend. But I don't know of any that you have to pay.
I don't think there's
I don't
very
think
many.
It's like a work.
Yeah, like it's
studio
trade off. Like
access,
you
right?
teach and you
Yeah.
have your like things you have to do, but yeah, it just depends. And there's short and long term ones, but I'm only interested in short term, just for like a month or two, where I can just go and like meet. It's mainly for networking because I have a pretty sweet setup here, so like
Yeah.
and I'm already selling here.
Right. And as
so-
long as we're in the studio together,
Yeah.
I'll have the kiln. And then if you go to a different studio, I'm either going to sell the kiln to her or change my mind and keep the kiln
Yeah.
somewhere, but probably not.
Yeah.
And so
The work you did to get this fucking kiln, and I'm like, what? She's gonna sell it?
I know. I feel like my life
Brand
is
new piece
just
of
like,
equipment.
It's like just like a spinning wheel that just like changes. Yeah, I'd love to keep the kiln, but he was like, but it's your fucking fault. You were like,
My fault?
yeah, it's your fault because you were like, you're just gonna have your kiln and just have it sit in your studio while you're gone and not have like.
Well, I mean, I get it if you're making change in what you're making, and jewelry in a big 10 cubic foot kiln doesn't make sense. But
No, I am getting one of the tiny kilns though. I just have to get some money. I want to buy the van first and then get the tiny kiln because everything is like pending on the financing of this stupid fucking vehicle. So
right.
A lot of pent up aggression with this.
yeah, I'm just so nervous.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to buy a $54,000 van. I've made about $20,000 this year.
That would go against some Daisy rules, I'm sure. Don't own a vehicle that is more than X amount of your yearly income.
Oh, good Lord.
I love it.
I was talking to my dad, and he was like, I asked my dad if he would help finance the vehicle, not in monetary values, but in co-signing, and he was like, absolutely not. And and then
You think he's doing that for your own good, or because he doesn't know how dedicated you are to this?
oh no, just wait. And then he's like, and then I came back and asked him while I was there, and he's very Dave Ramsey. And so it goes against literally everything that he was taught to co-sign with a family member, because if something goes wrong, it creates tides in the relationship, blah blah blah. And my mom's telling me this, and I look at my mom, I'm like, and lending $10,000 doesn't? And she's like, I don't know.
That's like, yeah.
And then I talked to my dad again, and he was like, well, I will consider it. And he goes, it just goes against everything I was taught. And then I looked at him and I was like, well, I go against everything you were taught as well. So, and he's like, fair.
Valid. God. Dave Ramsey. I've got his budgeting app.
Mm.
Do you?
I went
Does it work?
debt during my Dave Ramsey class.
Dude, I've never taken a class, but I budgeted out. I have like separate categories, and I like track all my expenses. And
You got your emergency fund and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I finally just made my first like separate business account. I feel so adult.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Chase Bank, shout out.
That's what I have.
Hey.
That's what I used to have.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I switched over to Coastal, like the community bank back in Monroe. But that's because Chase has a fee if it's below a certain amount, and I'm always below that certain amount.
Yeah.
So,
You mean like the balance? If the balance is not $300 or something, it'll.
Yeah, and I'm not poor per se, but I move my money around a lot.
Yeah, I'm just leaving all I owe in taxes and everything. I'm just leaving in that account.
Yeah, I move money frequently.
You're shuffling money to make sure there's enough in certain accounts.
I mean, you get that van. You got
No, and it's not even that. It's like right now I'm saving up for the van, so I have almost $5,000 that I've saved in the last couple months, and so I'm like transferring like 500 out weekly, to this other account, and like transferring things in and transferring things out.
That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's just the way that I do my finances, and I'm pretty good at it, but I used to have like 10 different accounts, and now I only have 2.
Well, you got rid of a bunch of the credit cards and things, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I only have one credit card that I use just to keep my credit.
Yeah.
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 So.
Mm.
But
Wow.
yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, the separate bank account definitely helps for the business account.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Good idea on that, Sarah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't need this, do I? And I was like, wait.
Oh wait. Oh,
Imagine
here's
keeping
a good,
track and
here's
shuffling
a good
things.
question.
Yeah.
Are you, now that you have your bank account, are you paying yourself a salary?
So I thought about that. I still don't know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, well I would recommend it.
Okay. I think I should, because what am I doing? I just got it maybe a couple months ago. That's why Mom, she has her own freelancing business, and she was like, I just keep it all in one because I don't want to pay myself a salary. I was like, that's smart too, I guess.
I don't.
But
So can I?
So what, like?
Oh, go on.
So the only thing associated with that account now is probably your Square payments. When people pay at a show, the Square is going to deposit in that account.
So
If you get checks
everything.
from somewhere, you're going to
Yeah.
deposit it there. Teaching,
Yep.
same thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, there's two things. One, your mother is 50 plus.
Yeah.
And she knows how to do money.
Yeah.
Not saying you don't.
Right.
But as a young person, I think that it's really important to pay yourself a standard amount every month if you can, because that not only mentally gives you that peace of mind,
Yeah.
but it also makes you budget better,
Yeah.
and it makes you like I'm a month ahead.
Motivation.
Right? It's motivation, and
For
it's like
sure.
I'm a month ahead. Now, I don't pay myself $800 every week, but I will go back and give some weeks I don't make
Yeah.
that. That's just the way the business works. But
Right. Just
but-
compensate that for another.
yeah, but I will go 2 weeks in advance and give myself $1,600
Okay.
or whatever. But I pay myself $800, quote unquote, every Friday, which should be actually I would do Monday, because it's after the weekend shows.
Yeah.
It's after the stuff.
Yeah.
But I pay myself $800 every week, and it has significantly dropped my stress as far as money is concerned. So that's what I would recommend.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like I said, 2 months into it. So I've just now separated all of the places that pay me for whatever I do to
Mhm.
that account. And I was like, oh, my rent's getting taken out of my other account. So
Yeah.
I gotta start paying myself so I don't go broke. So that's a good, it's just
And so and also for the van specifically, I was like, oh, it's good that I've been paying myself, because then I can at least show that this amount of money goes into my bank account
oh yeah.
every
On a regular
week.
basis, yeah.
Yeah, because they're gonna want a pay stub
Yeah.
of some sort, which I don't have clearly.
Right.
But I actually have 3 accounts. So I have my business account, my personal account, and then I have a Fidelity account. Now my Fidelity account is connected to my debit card. I pay my Fidelity account $1,000 a month, and that's my budget for the month. And then my checking account in my Coastal is directly linked with my bank account, so I can move money easily.
Mhm.
But I can't move money easily from Fidelity to Coastal. So I just do $1,000 to Fidelity, and that way my Coastal can go up and down as it needs to,
Mhm.
but my money that I'm spending is solid.
Mhm.
And okay. It's like a charge card,
But
it's
you're spending only with your debit card. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, so it's like a gift card essentially with $1,000 on it. And then my bank account has the money that's fluctuating, and that's where I'm moving money in and out. So it doesn't work for everybody, but
Yeah.
it's a lot.
It
Yeah.
is.
I just
I've
upped
had,
my
10
monthly.
years.
I just upped my monthly payment to myself recently.
Yeah.
I was paying myself $17.50 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just upped it to $22.50. So I just
Nice.
upped it $500.
Nice.
I was like, I've been working harder. I can give myself a little bit more.
Working hard. I like that.
And I don't need the money. It's just good to keep depositing money out of it.
Just rub it in.
It just incentivizes me to keep getting that business account up and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, that's good. But yeah, he pays himself monthly, and I think it's a good.
Yeah.
I would suggest it for everybody,
Yeah.
even if you only have to pay if you can only pay yourself $200 a month.
Right. Yeah. Just to have that.
Yeah.
And I've got investing. This has been my last few months. Once I started doing that, I was like, dang, hardcore adulting things. And I've been investing since I had my full-time job out of school, which is good. But it's just
So that's right. Okay. You said you did with full-time. You were teaching full-time?
I was the ceramic studio manager at the Indie Art Center for a few years after school. So that's where I learned how to do the icon tin gas-fired for those 2 years, and built soda kilns and other things, and ran the classes and scheduled stuff.
Yeah.
So learned how to run the studios, which was really cool.
Did you get benefits and all that? And
Yeah.
salary, and they have a 401k or something like that?
Yeah. So I had that for a couple years, which is good. So I've got that to fall back on and put more stuff into. But
I think it's definitely good to get that kind of exposure to
Yeah.
saving money and not because
Agreed.
if you go into the business like sole proprietor early, like you don't know about saving money for taxes and like what you're actually making at the end of the day, and then like what you need to invest and like benefits, insurance.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Why was that not taught in college?
Yeah, fuck that shit, man.
Personal finance things, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like the basic
They teach you
necessities.
everything except the stuff that you actually fucking need.
Yeah, exactly. So, well.
You know what?
Figure it out.
Oh, I lost it.
What?
I was gonna say something. And I forgot.
And also, I think like as you start making your own money, you also appreciate, or you're like, I feel like once you having to pay more taxes after you've already made the money, it's like, ooh, I don't want to. I want to cut down the amount of taxes I have to. It's like pay. You know, it's like,
Yeah. And I got lucky because like my mom and my brother both own their own companies with what they're doing, so they got to give me like a little head start on all that. So I've been like counting every penny of like what I spend and track all my receipts, so I don't have to pay like hardly anything in taxes, which is great. But
because you're paying estimated payments, is that why?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And just like tracking it, like I literally I track every mile that I drive. Like I have QuickBooks, so it automatically does that. But like all of my trips and everything, like food, every tiny little thing, like I'm counting that towards taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been nice to like. But also, yeah, we were talking about that too with like houses and stuff. Like when you're trying to get loans and buy things, it's like, well, I want to prove that I'm making like a significant amount, enough to like get a loan for something. So it's like I don't want to track it. I do want to track everything, but I don't want to like, I want to like look that I'm like making a like decent living, but I don't want to pay a lot of taxes, and then yeah.
I thought it was interesting. I was talking to somebody recently. I'm not going to say who it is. It was somebody significant, but somebody who makes more money than I do. But they were saying that, him and his partner were talking about like, they're like, why do people buy these stupid fucking things so they just don't have to pay taxes? Like,
I know, right?
Like, they're like, everybody doesn't want to pay the government, but then instead they're like, let's buy this thing that we don't need so that we can write it off, so that we
make
like,
less money, so
can
we
make
don't have
less
to pay.
money.
Yeah.
And they're like, just give it to the fucking government.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fair. I've never heard somebody like actually say it like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the difference between my business now versus my business like in Washington.
I think they trust themselves spending money more than they trust the government spending their money. I think that's probably part of the reason why people don't want to pay the government.
Right, but then they buy stupid shit that they don't need.
Well, at least they made the decision to buy the stupid shit and not somebody else making the decision to put their money wherever it goes.
Control.
I feel like I would just buy the shit and then don't do the tax and then sell the shit.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Hey.
That's probably embezzlement, but that's fine.
I was thinking about whether I should be buying like advancer shelves because I'm like, oh, should I like start upgrading little bits at a like getting a few advancer shelves just to spend some money at the end of the year? And I was like talking to some people that got advancers. Do you all have advancers in your kiln?
No, we don't, because I've had them before.
Yeah.
They wouldn't fit in my fucking kiln. I'm so fucking pissed. If I had gotten a 10 cubic foot kiln instead of a 7 cubic foot kiln, I could have saved half of my advancers, because I had advancers for an entire oval.
Oh wow.
And but no, our glazes we don't have any drippy glazes, so we don't need them. Like, we don't even fucking kiln wash.
Yeah.
Like,
we don't need it. That's true. We haven't. Yeah.
We've never even kiln washed. Like, I just put a little alumina on the spots that need it.
Yeah. I'm like, that's something I'm not going to spend my money on normally, but like maybe it's going to be good for the long term.
I don't know. Do you ever have any like, your shells are fucking shit though.
Yeah, they're not the greatest. Half of them are kind of. I mean, I get them like I've got them from other people and stuff. So yeah. They're not pristine, but they're not chunky like, a 3/8 of an inch of kiln wash that's been on there for 20
Yeah.
years. But
Yeah, I got mine brand new with the kiln, and then she just got a half shelf, and we've had no issues.
Dude.
Like, there's like 2 splatters of glaze.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great.
They're the best shelves.
And like, if you're running a kiln and like you're running a production like that, I don't think advancers are even needed. Like, I don't know if do you get glaze on your shelves?
probably once out of every maybe 10 firings, but it's
Minimal.
very infrequent.
What I would say, this is what I would say. If you want to get some advancers, what I would say is get some. Don't get all. Like, just get 2 or whatever.
I would get like a full and like a couple half shelves or something.
I wouldn't even maybe get a full, but get a couple half shelves, because then you can put your underglaze pieces on them without them sticking. Like, you just need to put like a light dusting of alumina.
Because I keep like half shells that got alumina dusting on them permanently, so I don't like flip them upside down. So I just like keep them on their side.
Yeah.
Upright.
So like, that's what I would say the best use for the advancers are. But other than that, I would never recommend advancers to anybody except teachers or people that have runny glazes.
Yeah, like an art center type of thing.
Yeah, like an art center, because like when I had them as a teacher, fucking lifesaver.
Yeah. Oh, one time I had a student that was not a student but thought she was a student come in and try and fire stuff. And I noticed that it was like lighter and it felt a little weird. And I was like, I'm just going to put one in and see what happens. The clay completely melted. Like, it was low fire, everything completely melted to the shelf. And I picked up the shelf just like this puddle. I was like, dude, that was not on me. It was like my second week there. I was like, that wasn't me, was it?
Jeez.
Hi, bud.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, because you can't trust people.
No, not at that type of place.
Not at that type of place. So definitely like teachers or people with super drippy glazes. That's who I recommend them to. But like,
not for the space saving aspect, or unless you had back issues, maybe it'd be beneficial.
Back issues, yeah, they are very light. But I don't think the space saving is all that. I mean, it is a lot, but it's not like, for the average human, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Told you.
Yeah.
Get your tail down.
Very neat.
Your little gargoyle.
Hi. He meowed at me for 5 hours the other day.
Oh my god! After you got back from your trip?
Yeah.
Wow.
He meowed at me until I got into bed, and then he snuggled right on top of me.
Nice.
I left my dog for 2 weeks while I was in LA, and she was not happy with me. Pip was pretty upset. But
Pip, however, when I came back from my trip,
she was pretty excited.
She was very excited to see me.
She's part Australian Shepherd and part Pyrenees, but that Australian Shepherd like wiggle where they like tuck their butt to their face and wiggle.
They wiggle their butt.
That's what she was doing. Yeah. It was pretty great. So,
wow.
She loved it.
Do you have anything else, Becca?
No, I feel like we've done a pretty solid amount of like shooting the shit towards the end there.
Yeah.
I feel like you know me through and through now, guys.
Yeah, very robust.
I didn't learn anything.
Oh.
I learned some stuff.
Are we gonna eat it?
No.
Yeah.
Lloyd's eating the cheese.
And he's
That's
like,
a solid ending to the night. He went back for seconds.
He approves. He approves. He likes it. The top is probably mostly butter.
Don't take that away from
me.
That cheese is good.
I mean, Lloyd really likes it.
Oh, God. Okay.
All about it. Trying to get the Lloyd mouth sound.
Oh, God. Well, thanks, guys, for having me on the podcast.
Yeah.
What a blast.
If you want to come shoot the shit with us anytime, we should bring Marret.
Oh, that would be so fun. We
should
do a mobile makers podcast.
Can we do it? I don't know. One time when you're like out in Indy, we should do one with Marret and we can all do it together. We can go to dinner or something.
That would be so fun.
Yeah, you'll have to bring the blue microphone, but yeah, we should do that.
Okay. We can do that.
That'd be a blast.
Yeah, that would be.
Because Marret's like a whole different beast.
It's true.
She's
because I'm guessing the three of you can't do it together because the topics would
We wouldn't have a
not,
topic.
there would be
so-
no thread, and I'm the thread.
Which might be fun.
That's
Okay.
true. You would be the thread.
You would be the thread.
Yeah.
Keep us, bring us back to. Hey, there's people listening to us right now.
If you bring
Would be
Rachel to
necessary.
Rachel's vintage with Marret's vintage, ugh.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. We'll
All right.
We'll make soup. What does that mean?
What did you say? Will be soup?
Wait, we'll make soup. One last thing. I was in Aldi today, and it was fucking miserable in Aldi, so I looked like okay, two things. Also, I decided I want to make a t-shirt, and I'm going to probably after this that says, "No, I'm not hungover. I'm just a business owner." And then second, I was in Aldi, and I put my fucking butternut squash on the belt, and it was like last, right? And the lady behind me was like as blue collar as you get, covered in dirt. You could tell she did construction. And she goes, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "That's a butternut squash." And she's like, "What do you do with that?" And I was like, "Make soup."
Make soup.
And she was like, "You can make soup out of squash?"
Girl.
And I'm like, "Yeah."
What?
And I was like, "Look it up, man." Like, and I was like, if it was frozen, I would have bought that, but instead I have Kenny over there. I put a face on him. And
Is that your air fryer?
what?
Is Kenny your air fryer, or what is?
No,
Kenny?
Kenny's the squash.
Oh, the squash.
Oh.
You'll see it on my Instagram.
Okay.
Tune in later for Penelope the freaking watermelon. I don't know. Well,
Anyway, there we go.
it's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
All right.
Butternut
Where-
squash soup.
Where should people look you up, Sarah?
On ye old Insta. Don't do TikTok. I mean, you can, but Insta or my website, Sarah Anderson Ceramics. All of it, any of the platforms. Just type
Alright.
in Sarah Anderson Ceramics on Google. You'll find me.
And if you haven't seen the video of her falling off her wheel,
Yeah.
that you should probably go there right now.
It's not obvious at the
It's
thumbnail
not.
because it's just
I
the.
hit it. I hit it.
Okay,
with a
I
picture
was
of
like,
it.
why did she not pick like some eye-catching thing that's gonna get people to
Didn't
want to
want
look at?
that.
It's got like a cup, but look for the one that has 7 million views.
Yeah, that one. I'll put it on my story tonight. Oh yeah.
Well, it's not coming up tonight anyway.
Dang. When's okay? Well, I'll put it.
It'll
I'll,
be a couple weeks, but
all
you
right.
can put
In
it
the
up
next
when it
couple
goes
weeks,
live.
I'll put it up whenever it. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right.
Cool.
Sweet.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Sarah.
No prob. See you guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye.